Welcome to the second video in the Leadersculpting the Future series. And the first video we discussed disruption and how that's the nature of everyday life now. Now, what we want to get into is what mindsets are required to thrive in this changing world. I'm Ravi Tangri.
And I'm Bushle Dlamini.
And
we're really excited to be talking to you about the mindsets that are required to basically leadersculpt the future. And I think, Ravi, it really talks to the fact that as leaders, we need to have that ability to disrupt and innovate. Because we said that disruption is the order of the day. That means that if we're going to lead into the future, we actually need to be the masters of disruption. That requires for us to reinvent the future and reinvent ourselves constantly. And that is not an easy thing to do, because it really requires you to move from the status quo. And we know status quo is nice, it's comfortable, it's where we've been, it's where we know how things work. And so as leaders, we need to actually be the ones that make it uncomfortable for people to remain where they are.
That's true. And I mean, what this comes down to is what I work with is systems. Or when I talk systems, it's not IT systems, it's people systems.
Yes.
And so what is it that we recognize? How do we make it comfortable to be uncomfortable? How do we make that the area? And what's got to happen here is, number one, you got to be nimble. So once you see a need, once customers are reacting to something, how do you very quickly respond? And I talk respond versus react. A reaction is usually somehow some disruption has happened and it throws you totally off kilter. If you are in tune with your customer, if you're in tune with what's happening, you are much more responsive than reactive. And so how do you respond?
And that's really talking about fast prototyping, coming up with solutions faster, and sometimes even before your customers ask for it. And that really means that we've got to be in touch with our customers and keep that feedback loop going all the time.
And the fast prototyping really is a partnership with your customers. You come up with an idea, say, how could this work? Okay, what about this? And refine it. And what about this? And refine it. And so you're partnering with them in the development. But that's when the needs emerge. The second stage, to me, in terms of mindset, is how do you identify the needs before they arise, before the customers realize it's not even working for them. And so that's where you've really got to be in pulse with, what are the issues, what are the frustrations with your customers, what's happening around you, what other possibilities are there. And to create, if you want to talk about mindset, it's about what if, how, things.
And what's next?
And we used to say that if it ain't broke, don't break it. No. If it ain't broke, break it.
Break it.
If you don't, someone else will.
Yes. Absolutely. And having that what's next mindset that says, even as you work on the current project, be thinking about what's going to be important next, what's going to be important tomorrow, and answer the question before the question is actually thrown into your court. Hey, we're getting excited here. We talk about this in the session in a very engaging way, and we really help you to understand these mindsets in an interactive way.
That's right. So what we're going to get into from this in the next video is, what does all of this mean for leadership? And of course, all of this is leading up to the special event that Bushle and I are doing in June on Leadersculpting the Future. This is a half-day event for senior leaders to collectively start to craft, how do we find our way through in a world that's changing constantly. Just go to leadersculpting.com to book your seat for that event right now.